Welcome to today's video where I'm going to be unboxing and sharing with you my first project on my new Thunder Nova 51 100 watt laser. If you're looking to scale or upgrade your laser business, you've come to the right video because I promise you this laser is going to take your business to the next level. Before we jump into this video, I want to start off by saying a couple things. The first being that I do have experience with a beginner and an intermediate laser. And I also want to disclaim that this Thunder laser was gifted to me. However, I am not getting paid to say any of this. These are all my honest thoughts and opinions. Alright, and now let's just jump right into it. This is how the laser is going to arrive in a big giant crate. You'll probably be needing 2 people to help open this thing up because this tank is about 1,000 pounds. All the materials and equipment are packaged tightly inside the crate so there's no shifting. Here's the laser outside of the crate. It comes nicely wrapped and I feel like the camera is not doing it justice because this thing is massive. Here's a different angle of the laser outside of the wrapping and with all the equipment it comes with. Again, you'll be receiving everything you need for this machine, including the chiller, the air assist, the exhaust fan, all that good stuff. It even comes with a toolbox with some of the materials you'll be needing for like cables, maintenance, and things like that. For the actual setup, it was a little difficult to record and actually pay attention to the YouTube videos on how to set it up. So the footage is like choppy and scattered, but overall it wasn't too difficult and there's a lot of great tutorials you can follow to set it up. Now we're going to get into the first project, and this is after the setup and learning how to use the machine and finally getting the hang of it. So let's just jump right into it. Alright guys, so I don't even know where we left off. It's been a while now. I did stop because I wanted to make sure that we had everything done safely. So my boyfriend helped me out through this whole process, so we did a lot of research to make sure that we're using the laser correctly. We had to really study and figure out how to use it, and I totally forgot to do the 1 hour of free training that actually comes with the laser. That was my fault on my end, but they do offer training so that you don't have to struggle. They will literally tell you how to use it. I just happened to miss it on my end. That's totally my fault. But anyways, we're going to do our first project now. And before we get into it, there's a couple things I want to talk about. So let's go through it. So the first thing I want to mention, and I'm coming around the back here, I did have to have an outlet installed because this laser has to run on its own 20 amp breaker. It was so easy and hassle free. The electrician was here for like 30 minutes maybe, and he had it done quick. Another thing I wanted to note is that I'm backing up here. This is not the permanent location for the laser. I still haven't figured out the whole like setup and everything. So in the meantime, we are venting this out of the actual garage door. But you can, for example, have like a hole drilled into it with an exhaust fan if you want. Like there's so many different options. I'm just showing you my whole setup right now temporarily, but this works as well. You can vent it out through a window, a garage door, or a normal door as well. Aside from those 2 things, so the outlet and the exhaust setup, everything else is provided for you. I just wanted to get that out of the way to let you know that this is going to depend on your location and your situation and everything. So obviously that does not come included. So those 2 things are to be noted. And then I want to quickly give you a side view. So there's the exhaust fan around the corner, is the garage door right there that it's exhausting out of. That's the actual fan right there. Here is the chiller, and the air assist is somewhere down there. And as you can see, you only need 1 plug. Everything else is connected through the machine. So here is the actual laser tube. So this is what produces the laser. It's really important not to touch anything because the oils in your fingers can actually cause a hot spot on the tube, and that can mess with the longevity of the laser. All right guys, and now I'm gonna go ahead and actually power on the laser on the side here, and you always wanna power on the main switch first, and then you're gonna go ahead and power on the laser switch. So that beep you guys just heard means that the chiller is on and the laser is ready to go. And now let's open her up. So as you can see, there are some oil stains in the honeycomb, and that's because we've already used it a couple times. We've been playing around with it to get the hang of it and learn how to do this. I'm gonna show you just like to give you an idea. This is 12 by 12, okay? So this is what I used for my other laser. That is what it looks like inside of this humongous bed. This one is 12 by 24, so let me just show you ginormous, okay? We just moved the laser out of the way. This is a 24 by 36 sheet. As you can see, there is still plenty of room to spare. And now I'm gonna show you an even bigger one. Putting this big piece in here. This is 24 by 48 inches. Again, still a lot of room to spare on both sides. So let's talk about everything over here. First things first, here is your emergency stop button. As you can see here, very, very important. If there's anything ever going wrong in the laser and you need to stop something immediately, just hit stop, it'll stop, and you can twist to start it back on. and then it'll reset as it's doing now. This is your control panel for the laser, and everything is controlled using this. So yes, you do have the Lightburn software and everything, but you will be sending your files to the actual laser, and everything is controlled through here. So just to show you what it's going to look like, for example, that's the down button, up button, we got left, here we got right, and then this right here controls the bed. So for example, if I push the down button, that bed is gonna lower, and if I push the up button, that's going to raise. And then on the side right here and on that side as well, these are the autofocus. It works just like a garage door, so the bed will self-level to whatever is touching those two sensors. It will stop at that. And to access that, you're gonna hit menu right here, and then you're gonna hit autofocus, enter. So this tube right here, this blue tube, is the actual air assist. So this pushes air into the laser head from the air compressor. The cool thing about this laser is that you can actually control how much air comes out. For example, when you engrave, you will want a low volume, and you can actually just hit this button here and test and feel whatever is coming out. Whereas if you're gonna be cutting something, you're gonna want a high volume, and you're gonna press this button, and you can actually hear how much air is coming out compared to the other one we just did. You can feel as well how much air is coming out. And that's just a cool feature of this laser that other lasers don't have. Let's head over to the Lightburn software and talk a little bit about that. Please excuse this hoarding going on here. This is not my computer. Something to note about the software is that it does have to connect to the laser through an Ethernet cable, but that is only to send the files, and then after that you don't have to have it connected. So here's the Lightburn software. We're gonna open that up. We're gonna go ahead and start my first project with you guys, which is going to be a business sign of my logo. So I'm gonna go ahead and set that up and walk you through the process. I also want to quickly point out that you can see my laser is connected because it says devices here, and then that's the laser, Big Bertha, that's what we named her. So you can see that, and then you can also see here that it says ready. I just went ahead and dragged in my image here, and now I'm gonna go ahead and trace this. So to do that, I'm gonna head up to the top left corner, and I'm gonna hit tools, and then I'm gonna go ahead and hit trace image. So I'm gonna mess with the threshold a little bit to get those lines to come up, and that looks pretty good. I'm gonna hit OK. All right, so there's my SVG, and now what I'm gonna do is drag in a circle, which is at right here on the top left. And I'm gonna go ahead and draw a circle. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and set this line to cut, the circle to cut, engrave on the circle so I know my placement afterwards. So I just changed this color, the circle color, to red down here. I'm gonna change the SVG color to blue. So this black square right here, I just made this the size of the acrylic that I'm going to be cutting with. This is just for the framing and to waste as less material as possible. It's not necessary, but it's just a little tip. Now I'm going to go ahead and be assigning my layers all the different settings. Use the settings from the little manual book that came with the Thunder laser. So I'm going to go ahead and flip to my machine, which is the Nova 51 100 watt. And I'm just going to head down here where I see acrylic, and I'm going to go based off of the settings for the 3mm, which is right here, cutting. So it looks like it's going to be 55 speed, 10 minimum power, 90 max power, and we're going to go ahead and put the high air pressure on the red layer here. And just so you guys know, line is always going to be cut, fill is going to be engrave, and then offset and fill is a different type of engrave. So I'm going to stick with line. 55 speed, max power, let's see, was 90 for max power. Minimum power is 10. So for the blue line is going to be a score. So I'm going to double click on that, and it doesn't have a setting for this in the book, so we're just going to make our own. 18 max power and 15 minimum power. Now we're going to go ahead and do the framing, and I just want to say this is the easiest way that I found to frame without the camera, but I do want to say that I do have the camera. I'm going to be unboxing and showing you that in another video, but for now, if you guys don't think about getting the camera, this is what I found to be the easiest way. So to start framing, I'm going to select my square over here, or my rectangle, and remember this is the size of the material that I'm going to be using, and I'm going to hit move laser to upper left of selection. So really quickly, as you can see, the laser has moved from the home, which is the right over there in the corner, when I press that button. So what I'm going to do is load in my material. As you can see, that red dot has appeared, and that is the corner that I want my material to be on. So I've lined it up as much as I can. I just came back to my computer and now I'm gonna go ahead and hit frame and I'll show you what that looks like on the laser. This is just kind of to border the acrylic as much as possible to save the most material. So this does not have to be perfect. It's just kind of like an outline, if you will. So now what we're gonna do is frame the circle, and that is the important part. So let's head back to the computer. Delete that black square, and what we're gonna do is frame this circle. As you just saw, it looked good. The red dot was touching the material at all times and it cleared out. The next step is to send this to the laser. Hit this button right here that says send. Click on that. And we're gonna name the file. Okay, we'll just put NC back. I'm gonna put OK. And that has just been sent to my laser. And just to note again, this is all you need the computer for. Once you've sent your file to your machine, you no longer need the computer anymore. The machine stores your files for you. Here I am at the control center for my laser, and I'm going to set up my file now. So I'm gonna click this button here that says file. Click that, and now I'm gonna search for my file, and it's actually that first one in the very front. As you can see, it says NC back, which is what we named it. And I'm gonna go ahead and click enter. So here is the image. You can confirm that it's correct. And you can see here the settings for the different layers as well. And if you want to, just keep in mind you can frame this. So you can click frame, and it's only going to frame in a square. So just keep in mind this is just framing the work area of your file. So it won't actually frame in a circle like my file is set up. This is again just framing the work area, which is going to be a square at all times. I know I talked about the autofocus earlier, and you can do that. However, I'm going to be using 3mm acrylic, which is on the fairly thinner side. And just to make sure that I get the best focus as possible, I'm going to manually do this. And I do recommend doing it manually for thinner materials like this, just to be on the precaution side, just to be safe. Manually focus it, and for thicker materials you can definitely use the autofocus, and this is going to be the tool that you're going to use to focus the laser. So you're going to have to lower the bed a little bit. That should be good. And now I'm going to move the laser head using the controls. Move the laser head on top of that. As you can see, it's now underneath that, and what I'm going to do is raise the bed as close as I can to the laser head. So I'm going to try to get it as close as I possibly can without doing too much. That looks good. And now I'm going to spin this little dial towards you guys to lower it as much as I can. And now it is touching the actual little acrylic ruler. I'm going to tighten that up by turning the opposite way. Like that. I'm going to slide that out. That is how you manually focus. So I'm going to close this up and hit start. It is all done. That was insanely fast. I even tried to set up my tripod and it was too late. It was already done. So I'm going to take it out now and show you what it looks like. Here's what we're left with. So as you can see, the scoring is on there. So now we're going to go ahead and do the darker color for the letters. I'm going to be applying a layer of 3M tape to this. So I'm going to do about 12 inches, which is the same length as this. And it's going to be sideways like so, just to make my life a little bit easier. Just so you guys know, this tape is industrial grade. It is very, very strong adhesive tape, double-sided, so this is perfect for layering things like I'm going to show you in this video, and for this project in particular. It's perfectly safe to use with the laser. It cuts right through, no problem. So just so you guys know, whatever you're going to be using this for, make sure that it is permanent, because this will not come off and it's going to give you a lot of pain to, have to remove it. It's almost impossible. So just so you guys know, very, very industrial grade tape here. So that's what we're going to be using to layer. I'm back at the computer now, and I'm gonna go ahead and delete that red circle because we don't need it anymore. If the 3M is facing up, you need to mirror your design if it's got letters or anything, because it will cut backwards. So to mirror it, I'm gonna click this button up here, and that's it. And we're gonna send this again. So everything is now on top of each other, and what I'm going to do is just go one by one. I'm going to remove the peel from the letter, then I'm going to remove the peel from the 3M, and I'm going to stick it on there as level as I can. So I'm going to do that for every single letter. Let's get started. So here's my finished business sign. It's all layered and ready to go. Just gonna lay it in here so you guys can see better. So this is the finished sign. It looks so nice, so sleek and professional. I'm gonna put my phone in the middle to scale it. And as you can see, it is pretty big. There is just so much you can do with this. I mean, you don't just have to do business signs. Even though this is a huge market and you should totally do this, even if you have a laser this big, you should totally offer this. I mean, why wouldn't you, you know? But there's just so much you can do with this. Like I said, I sell like acrylic blanks, there's watermarks, there's keychains, there's business signs, there's engraving, tumblers, which we are going to test out in an upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. You can do coasters, cutting boards, hat patches. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's truly so much you can do with this. I mean, this is a pretty big sign, you guys, and you can target huge businesses as well. You can make those signs that go on like the street shopping center signs, if you know what I'm talking about. That's what you can do with this. A huge thank you again to Thunder Laser for sending me their Nova 51 100-watt laser. I absolutely love this. It is such a game changer. They also do have other sizes as well. It's not just the 51. There's a 35, and there's even a bigger one than this, you guys. I mean, this is already humongous. But there is a 63-inch as well, so many different sizes to cater your needs. Make sure to check them out, and I'll have that linked in the description for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you never miss a video. And also don't forget to check out my TikTok and Instagram, because I will be posting so many other projects as well using this laser, and you're not going to want to miss out. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.